A very warm welcome to all the new subscribers and lots of love and regards, as always, to all the existing ones. I truly feel honored to be on this path with each one of you, and especially when I see your loving comments, your emails, and the loving feedbacks, and the fact that so many of you have been reaching out for readings. It really makes me very happy, very grateful, and I want to sincerely thank each person who takes out time to listen to my messages. Uh, Feel free to stay connected on my Facebook page because that's where I try and post updates as frequently as I can. And this message primarily is for single mother twin flames. And this is something that I'd been guided to do for a very long time. But it so happened that I was sitting and I suddenly had this message that I need to do a reading that's specifically for the single mother twin flames. And I could understand that there is something pretty messed up out there. And when I saw the cards and when I did the reading, it sort of reconfirmed the fact that things are not going pretty smooth. And there were a few things more than a reading that I wanted to address to every lady who is a single mother and a twin flame. And therefore, my only request is that obviously, first and foremost, this message is not for everyone, okay? And secondly, those of you who listen to it, please listen with an open mind because there may be moments where you might get triggered or you may not get triggered at all. There may be some information that might be relevant to you and some which may not be relevant at all. But what matters is that if you like it, listen to it, absorb it, try and understand the message which is meant for your highest good. But if you don't relate to it, you can conveniently ignore this message and, dislike if you wish or unsubscribe. But I don't appreciate any kind of bad vibes or negativity or, comments that really don't make any sense. Having said that, a very important update that I would like to mention is that I had been hearing this word fated meeting for quite some time. And coincidentally, when I happened to get my new tarot deck, I just pulled out a card, to see that what exactly is the message coming through for all twin flames at this point in time. And to my utter surprise and happiness, the card that popped out was fated meeting. Now, I have posted about this on my Facebook page, but what I'm trying to say is that certain twins, some blessed ones, are certainly going to have a meeting, some sort of a contact in this month of September 2019. That is happening for sure. Now, this meeting could be an unexpected meeting that happens almost out of the blues, or it might be something like a unexpected communication that comes your way from your twin. But some set of twins, I don't know who they are certainly meeting in this month of September. And for others, it is very likely that you see some sort of a progress in your life wherein a person or an opportunity, most likely a person who is like your soul family, almost miraculously appears in your life and helps you out in some way. So if you've been struggling to find a house, let's say, or if you've been struggling with a job offer, or if you've been struggling with a very huge issue, it seems like in this month of September 2019 that one person in any form, I mean, that could be, a call from a company wherein a person decides to give you a job offer, or an unexpected contact that really solves your problem. That's the kind of vibe that's coming across for many twins. And now the most important thing is that a few days from now, I believe on Friday the 13th September, we have the full moon, which is also known as the harvest moon. And the reason it is so important is not only because it's going to be an extremely powerful moon, but I believe also 11 days before the fall equinox. And the reason it is so powerful is not only because it is emphasizing on some really deep releases and cleansing that's happening at this point in time, But it is also important because all the hard work and all the efforts and all the healing that you have been doing in the past, now is the time with the harvest moon to actually reap the rewards of your hard work. And therefore, it becomes extremely important for each and every twin flame, whether you are a masculine, feminine, single, married, divorced. I mean, it doesn't matter what age group we are, where we are living, what category we really fall in. But what is important is that this is not the time to quit, okay? We are so close to the finish line that we are nearly there. And with this kind of an energy, we really cannot afford to quit, okay? And that's a very important message. So that's one thing that I really wanted to convey to anyone that listens to my message, that please continue. There might be, moments wherein your emotions get heightened, and especially with the full moon, you feel extremely emotional. You start crying out of the blues. Whatever is the feeling, I mean, please try and be a little compassionate towards yourself and also towards whoever has hurt you and wronged you in the past, because that is extremely important. This is no more a time to harbor resentments and bitterness and, all the negative feelings. On the contrary, this is a period, a very powerful spiritual period, wherein we are being called to completely let go all the bitterness, all the resentment. Truly come into your heart space and reflect back on your life and see all the learnings and all the people who have hurt you. See them as lessons, bless them, release them. And when I say bless them and release them, you don't have to really go and, kiss someone who has badly broken your heart and stuff like that. But I'm sure you're mature enough to understand that when we say that bless and release a person, we are making an oath or a pledge to ourselves that I let this person not impact me anymore. And everything that happened between me and this person was a lesson for him as well as for me. This was meant to happen, it has happened, and now that chapter has closed. If I remain stuck in that moment, it's only going to harm me a lot, emotionally, mentally, physically. It will drain me, my energies, and I can no longer afford to do that. And therefore, I bless and release this person on their path, as I bless and release my own self from all the misery and the unnecessary negative lower emotions that were draining my own energies. And then you just move on from there. You don't have to be, speaking to that person, whoever hurt you, every single day. But you can mentally, in your heart space, practice compassion, forgiveness, and release. Whether you cry it out or whether you write it on a piece of paper and burn it, do whatever it takes to completely let go of all the bitterness and resentment that's there in your heart. And for the benefit of all twin flames who would like to benefit from getting a reading from me, for the next 15 days of this month of September 2019, I have decided to offer the 50% discount, not on all the readings, but on the main readings. Okay, so not on the single question, not on the 3-question reading, but all the other ones will be priced at 50% discount. However, the timeline, because I get heavily booked every time there is a 50% discount, I'm going to increase the timeline to 10 days. And in case anyone connects with me and if you don't read the about section, then I swear I'm not taking up your request. So please make sure that every section of my website you go through that, and only after that you connect with me. All right, that's my only request. So having said that, I now come to the main reading, which is, or a main message which is coming for the feminine twin flames, for the single mother twin flames, and what the overall energies are looking like. Now, I was not at all surprised when I pulled the cards for you, because as you can see, your overall energy and your block, these are two extremely dull, extremely low vibrational cards, full of grief, full of sadness, and it has a very, very stuck up energy about it that just is not at all good. Okay, these are two of the most, I don't want to say worst cards, because frankly, there is nothing worse or there is nothing bad in a tarot. It's just an energy which is positive or negative, and we are all human beings, so it's not possible to have happy moments all the time. But what is important is that the reason I'm speaking to single mother twin flames at this point in time is because it has a lot to do about your attitude and your beliefs at this point in time rather than a reading, frankly speaking. Because what happens is that I come across so many women, not just twin flames, but in general, the way they speak about being a single mother. Okay, now first of all, I want to applaud every person, every woman who is a single mother, because I do understand that it is a huge responsibility to not just bring a child into this world, but to make sure that you give them the right nurturing environment for them to really develop into beautiful individuals as they grow up, right? There is no denying the fact that as a single mother, it's a huge task, but I also see it as a huge compliment for some reason. And I feel that every person who is a single mother should be applauded and should feel extremely proud of herself, because this is not something that you need to feel sad about, or the fact that you're lacking in any way. But unfortunately, what I see is that many women use this tag of a single mother in a way to project as if it's a huge burden on them. And it's almost like their vocabulary, the words they use, the way they project themselves, it's screaming these words like, please, I'm so helpless, come and rescue me, I'm a single mother, I'm so helpless, I'm stuck, I'm doing everything all by myself. And what happens is that when you give that kind of a projection, again, I would like to say that I'm not saying that every single mother behaves this way, but I also know that there are many who do behave this way. So whether you fall in that category or not, that does not matter. What matters is, where am I coming from? Kids, whether you could be living in any part of the world, you could belong to any culture, children are extremely receptive, very intuitive, and they are so delicate in their thinking that, if you go on projecting yourself in a negative light, maybe you don't say anything to your child, but they observe a lot. Okay, and god forbid if you end up giving this kind of a vibe that, oh my god, I'm a single mother and how am I managing so many things, and I have a child and I have no one to support me, and I'm a victim, and a man needs to rescue me and stuff like that. Somewhere down the child's subconscious mind, this fear or this sadness or this thought gets accumulated that, oh, am I unwanted, am I a burden on my mother, my mother is so burdened with responsibilities and there's nobody to help her, and I'm causing stress to her and stuff like that. Maybe you adore your child, you're extremely close to your child, and you're trying to give them the best upbringing possible, which I'm sure is the case with most of you. But please try and understand that there are mothers out there who unconsciously or consciously end up displaying a very negative attitude, and not only towards their children but also towards the men they interact with, whether it is their twin flame or whether the zillions of dating sites where you put yourself out there, because that is an extremely negative message that you're giving out there by portraying yourself and constantly talking about your problems and constantly projecting yourself in a negative light wherein there is absolutely no need. And another thing that I want to say is that I think this tag of a single mother is really used in a very negative way. And I would like to clarify that please come out of this misconception that you are a single mother, so you are tied down with your children and maybe you cannot have a social life and stuff like that. And had I been single, I would have a string of men I could date and have many options to choose from. Let me make it clear that there are single people out there who are not even in relationships and they are dealing with some of the worst and extremely heavy burdens. Maybe some of them are homeless, they're living in a car, literally. They have nowhere to go. Some have extreme obligations to support their parents or their families. And I can assure you one thing, that if you're a twin flame, whether you are single, whether you're married, whether you're a single mother, every twin is grappling with an extremely challenging situation. So please stop looking at yourself as if, the world is on one side and then you are on a different platform altogether. And, there's no one more worse than you, or you have all the burdens to carry while the others are having a rosy life. I think that's a very wrong way of looking at things. Every individual, whether it's a woman or a man, we need to start seeing them as equals, okay? Because this is what your reading is trying to imply, that your overall energy as, Eight of Swords with the true love card, it seems like a lot of the single mothers have just stuck on to this one terrible idea that, oh my god, I'm in love with my twin, but my twin does not love me. I'm not getting the kind of affection and response that I need to get, or the kind of commitment that I need to have. It's not coming my way. I'm stuck because of my circumstances, or this person does not acknowledge this connection, or the connection is there but you are helpless because of the family situation or because of the children situation, or maybe you don't find yourself attractive. So many negative thoughts have been crossing your mind, and you are just your self-worth, your self-esteem, your self-respect, all the important aspects related to the self have drastically dropped to not even zero but to a minus category. There is a lot of control. You are just stuck onto the timelines. You are stuck onto the fact that this person, your twin, is not responding. It's been 2 weeks, 2 months, 2 years, so on and so forth, and you are just unable to come out of it. But what I want to say is that a lot of what you're feeling right now, this feeling of being trapped, this feeling of being like a victim, not being able to have a control over your life and your emotions, 90% of it is like a self inflicted harm. It's your own, thoughts that are creating this mess for you rather than the actual situation, which is why your block is the Five of Cups, an acute loss, an acute emotional loss, inability to come out of that loss, brooding over constantly and non-stop about the lack in your life, that you are single mother, you don't have any support, and the love that you want from your twin is not coming your way. The universe and your own intuition, God, spirit, whatever name you want to call, they have been clearly showing you the signs that this attitude of yours needs to change. But you are so not willing to go in and inwards and take that difficult path of self-healing, but you are stuck up onto those 3 cups that have fallen, and failing to see that there are 2 still standing behind. In other words, there is extreme bitterness, extreme sadness, grief, depression. I also feel that a lot of the single mothers, many of the single mothers are either, in the coming 5 months, they're going to have some sort of a surgery or, operation, or something that is related to their medical health issue. So not all single mothers, but some single mothers have some sort of a doctor's visit or an appointment that's related to their health, and this could lead to some sort of a strict bed rest, or a surgery that is much needed. And that's why, because your energies are so stuck up, your outcome is the separation card, followed by the Eight of Pentacles. Now, you have drawn not one but three number eights. And if you know, number eight is a number of karma, and it is also a number of, what you sow is what you reap. The universe is constantly trying to give you reminders and signs to come out of that sadness and grief that you've been constantly experiencing. There is such a heavy control coming from you that you just want to control things your way. You want to see fast forward results, but you're not willing to work for it. Or maybe you have worked for it, but there is so much impatience and restlessness that, in about 2 weeks or in about 2 months, you give up and this becomes too hard for you. So, the one thing that I want to say is that we are all human beings, and yes, you feel overwhelmed. There is no doubt about the fact. You have too many responsibilities. You've been juggling with too many issues, which are financial, emotional, all sorts of issues. But please understand that if you're a twin flame, there is a reason why this is happening for you or in your life. And that is because, first of all, you are capable enough to deal with this kind of a mess. And that's why God brought it your way in the first place. And secondly, as a twin flame, you have to be a role model, not just for others, but most importantly for your own self. If after so many years of feeling miserable, you haven't learned your lesson or what a twin flame is all about, then this is what your learning is. And your outcome as separation card is not some kind of a punishment, but the separation card followed by the Eight of Pentacle card and the Death card as the clarifying card is trying to tell you that this kind of an attitude needs to change with immediate effect. The universe is trying to tell you that the healing or the releasing or the letting go part and this period of 3D separation is needed, and no matter how much you try, you cannot control it. But you can control your own attitude, your own emotions. And another very important thing to note is that till the time your own life, your own internal messes are not resolved, the question of a 3D union is out of sight. And for this group of single mothers, the energies are so toxic and so low vibrational that unfortunately I don't see any 3D union happening anytime soon. On the contrary, Eight of Pentacles card is a card of a skilled worker. Not just any worker, but a skilled craftsman kind of a worker who's an expert and very dedicated, and he uses his focus and dedication to create one masterpiece after another. And as you know, creating a masterpiece requires a hell lot of dedication, focus, commitment, and time. But time is what you have been running away from. When you get a pimple on your face, you can hide it with a concealer. But these life problems, they are not like the pimple, they are extremely huge things in life. They have to be dealt with, your fears, your uncertainties, your inner shadow selves that comes to the surface. All these things, they have to be faced and confronted rather than pushed off under the carpet to be dealt with later. If you're looking for quick fix solutions, there is no quick fix solution here. The separation, there is no 3D union happening for this group of single mothers anytime soon. And you are advised that for the next 6 months, just get completely busy in, reclaiming your own power, releasing all the negativity, bitterness from your heart. Stop seeing yourself as a victim and focus on the more important aspects of your life. And trust me, when you start actually working on your own self and looking at what are the things you need to sort, it's so funny. I mean, I come across people who have thousands of messes of their own, but they are not bothered about solving those. They're more bothered about what their twin is doing. How will they leave the karmic? When will they divorce the karmic? Or when will they come back to me? Bloody hell, even if they come back to you, but you are still stuck in your own mess, how are you going to have your union? It's a very simple logic. Those twins who have dedicatedly done the healing have first and foremost begun seeing the effects of their healing in their own life, in your own physical body, in your own finances, in your own career, in your own lifestyle. And that's what sets the pace, that when one after the other things get sorted in your life, then that is what sets the pace for your 3D union. And like I said, not all the twins are meant to unite. Some are meant to stay cordial as friends, some are not meant to unite. But those of you, even if you have any kind of expectation from your twin flame union, the union first has to happen at your internal level. There are women out there, they are just, blindly dating men without even understanding that what exactly are they looking for. Half of them don't even know what they're doing and why they're doing. Like I said, you can conceal a pimple, but you cannot conceal your problems with these kind of addictions and meaningless interactions and just to feel yourself validated that you're very attractive. Please come out of this low vibrational energies, and you don't have to degrade yourself to an extent that people stop respecting you. There is a lot of, mental and emotional imbalance in your energy at this point in time. And that's why you feel your intuition is totally blocked. You cannot think straight. Your mind is completely twisted with all the negative thoughts. And this is what needs to be corrected. So just as the skilled worker in the Eight of Pentacles card, you have to get down to that skilled worker category, getting down to business, getting down to facing your fears, confronting your fears, and coming out of that negative energy. And some of you might say that it's easier said than done, but I'm not here to give lectures to anyone. I never practice what I don't preach. It has been one hell of a journey for every twin. So like I said, stop giving yourself this label of a single mother, because the others are not leading a rosy life either. Okay? So for this section of single mothers, your 3D union is not happening anytime soon, and that is because your own energies are extremely low. That needs to be corrected. Please come back into this grounded state. Your career, your finances, your children, your own health, your own happiness, that is what requires maximum focus right now. And how are you going to release the pain? You will release the pain by a lot of self-reflection, spending time alone all by yourself, crying it out, whether this means being off social media for a week, for 10 days, or whatever it takes for you to come back into a peaceful mode. that needs to be done. And there are a lot of grounding techniques, lots of healings available. The reason I don't suggest any meditations is because, I mean, each person is different, and you have to see what suits you best. But make the most of, your low self esteem, which is really not something that you need to tolerate anymore. Come back into a grounded state, balance your emotional and all the all sorts of negative emotions that are happening at this point in time. Some of you have gone through an acute loss and acute heartbreak, and I understand that it's very painful, but I also see that you've been struggling with these emotions for more than 2 years for sure, and that's a pretty long time. You need to come out of that and make a dedicated effort that in the next 5 to 6 months, work on your own self, rebuild your own. Don't wait for someone to come and validate you. Find the joy from inside. Take up a hobby, change your surroundings, be with people and do stuff that motivates you, that uplifts you, whether it is music, any hobby, any class. Stay away from addictions of any kind, because that will further bring your energies down. And just come back into leading a clean and healthy lifestyle. Pray, meditate, do whatever it takes to get back into a peaceful state. And that's all I want to say. Okay? So, anyone that's guided to get in touch with me for a reading, please make sure that you have read through each section of my website, including the About section. And I thank anyone that has taken out time to listen to my message. For all your patience, thank you very much. And I hope you have a great month ahead. And for the next 15 days, on the main readings, there will be a 50% discount. Anyone guided to connect, you're more than welcome to connect with me, and I will be more than happy to do a reading for you. So on that note, single mothers, look after yourself, and it is extremely important that you start seeing yourself in a happy and a proud way, and not distinguish or discriminate yourself by putting these tags, because no one is less fortunate or more fortunate. We are all dealing in the similar situations. So it will be really great if you can stop seeing yourself as a victim and empower yourself enough to not really depend on anyone for any kind of emotional validation. And when you get to that stage, the right person will enter into your life, and you are capable of manifesting some beautiful, wonderful results, provided you work for it. And that work is not just random work, but shitloads of work, back-breaking work, the work that you've done on your life with your, with your career and stuff. You need to do that work internally now, for your own happiness, for your own self. Okay? Because no one is responsible for our happiness but us. So look after yourself, and I send you much love, and I hope and pray that the many twins that are meant to meet in this month, you have a fruitful meeting. All the best, and have a great day ahead. Take care, guys. Lots of love. Bye.